Howdy, y'all. This is Roman here with you, and I'm here to talk about and introduce a proposed bill that's been ruffling some feathers here in Texas. Have you ever heard of House Bill 434? Well, neither had I prior to this assignment. However, it's a bill that's about to be passed here in Texas that's really going to change the curriculum in high school as we know it. This bill is proposing to remove the one required fine arts credit that every student needs in order to graduate from high school. Currently, these are the 5 categories of subjects that fine arts offers in Texas: music, visual arts, theater, dance, and film. House Bill 434 was recently proposed here in Texas and is currently pending in committee before the Texas State Legislature deliberates. This proposed bill has not been so well received, especially among the fine arts community, who already is underfunded and feels neglected. Okay, now, to be fair, it's not like they're removing fine arts from the high schools. However, it's simply no longer going to be a required credit needed in order to graduate. House Bill 434 is proposing that either a fine arts credit or a career in technology education credit would fulfill that requirement. Up to date, there haven't been any specific classes mentioned that would satisfy and fall under the career and technical education category. However, we do know that they are intended to provide relevant technical knowledge and skills needed to prepare for further education and careers in current or emerging professions. One way a concerned citizen put it is that CTE is about preparing the future worker and the fine arts is about preparing the individual. Well, in case you were wondering, I'd like to share some of my thoughts about the strengths and weaknesses of House Bill 434. Let's get into it, the good, the bad, and the ugly. The overall feeling of this bill is quite mixed. One serious weakness to consider is that the mandatory fine arts credit may be the only opportunity for students to discover a talent or explore and develop a skill that they may have. One African American lady who spent 23 years dancing with the Houston Ballet went to the Texas House Public Education Committee and gave her testimony. It was very touching, and her conclusion was that the arts is not a privilege, it's a right, and that every kid has a right to experience and participate in the arts. Although it does seem like most people are opposing this bill, I would like to provide some potential positive aspects and some strengths. Every year, students are forced into taking a fine arts elective and thus are taking a class they really don't want to take. Granted, this is a great opportunity for the teacher to gain this student. More than likely, this student will just be uncooperative and become a frustration to the progress of the whole class. How do I know? Well, I was this student. By not requiring these students to take these classes and providing other options, this allows the student to find a better class to take and allows the fine arts classroom to excel and progress without unnecessary distractions. Another strength is that hopefully these CTE classes will offer some classes that actually prepare students for real life. This is a huge misconception in the educational world that everyone needs to go to college to be successful, which is not really always true. Perhaps by offering CTE classes, this could be a start in the direction of changing this doctrine and normalizing jobs such as plumbers, electricians, carpenters, bankers, etc. I believe that this could fill a huge void, a void that currently exists in the educational world. However, the opposition says that this shouldn't be an either-or situation and that these subjects are far too different to be interchangeable. However, one huge weakness of this bill is if it passes, then your entire high school career all your classes are focusing and developing the left hemisphere of your brain, which is for your logic and your analytical side, while the right hemisphere of your brain, which is responsible for innovation and creativity, would be neglected. I see this as a huge problem in the United States, especially since a lot of our economy hinges on our ability to innovate. Overall, I have mixed feelings about this bill. I do believe that the intentions are good.